Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Thankful Thursday. Yes, it is that one day of the week where we look at what we're most grateful for this past week. But we should be beginning each day and ending each day with a grateful heart. So, excuse me, what are you most thankful for this week? Where did this come from? Well, whatever. So, what are you most thankful for this week? Let us know. I am most grateful for this week because of a friend who gave me a link to a software that is like blowing my mind and the possibilities for it. Um, I am thankful that I have some friends who were not feeling so good and are feeling much better now. Um, and I had some great contact with family members this week. So I have a lot to be thankful for. Um, so, yeah, begin each day with a grateful heart. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated this morning. My brain is like firing on I don't know how many cylinders. It is all over the place with excitement and just everything I'm doing right now. I am on cloud. I don't even know where my brain is. It is just so I'm just so grateful for the moment in time that I am in and for what is happening, both in work life, in business, and in personal life. So I am just like giddy with excitement. Anyway, tell your story question of the day. What so what one experience are you thankful for from your childhood that it had the most impact on you? And I was thinking about this and I thought, wow, what could be my one experience? And then it just suddenly popped into my head and travel. My parents gave us the gift of travel. We on school vacations, we traveled a lot. We got to see a lot of New Zealand because of our parents. They instilled in us three kids the love of travel, not the love of being a tourist, but the love of travel. And there is a difference. A tourist will go to a place and all they want to see is the touristy stuff. You know, like if you go to Pisa in Italy, everybody wants to see the Leaning Tower. There's so much more to see there. If they go to oh jeepers, my mind has gone blank. Jeepers, what is it? You know, they don't get off the beaten path. They just go to see the popular tourist sites and that's it. And you can spot them a mile away. You can spot them a mile away because of the way that they dress, the way they act, everything else. A traveler is someone who wants to blend in with the locals. Yes, they still want to see the touristy stuff, but they're not the type that will be loud about it, like some tourists are. They not only do they want to blend in with the locals and yes, see some tourist stuff, they want to get off the beaten path. They want to get immersed in the culture of the country or the town or the city that they are visiting. So my parents were great travelers, and yes, they like seeing the sights, but they also like to get off the beaten path and experience things that tourists don't get to see or very rarely get to see, things that tourists don't even know about. So they want to go to those places. And sometimes that is where the adventure is. Most of the time, that's where the adventure is when you get off the beaten path and you go and experience the culture of an area. You learn about the culture, you get immersed in the culture, you try the local foods, you get to see sites that tourists either don't know about or very rarely find out about it and get off that beaten path. I remember one time we were in Puerto Vallarta and I was on a Disney cruise, and there was a group of us travel professionals on the cruise as well. And there was a group of 5 of us that went down to Puerto Vallarta. Well, my friend Melissa, she lived in Puerto Vallarta like 2 to 3 or 4 weeks out of a year and had been doing it for years. So she knew all the back roads and everything else. So we got off the beaten path. She took us from the main shopping area, which is where a lot of people go, away from the beaches a lot of people go to, took us up into the back roads. We walked up, we saw this cute little church that was up there, that was in the middle of services and anything, so we didn't interrupt that. She took us, we walked all along these back roads and everything, because she was looking for this little place that had really good seafood tacos. Fish tacos. And so she finally found the place. We did all this walking. Well, I tell you, we did this all, and we had this great meal at this little place. There were no tourists in the place. We were probably the only Americans in there. And we sat there and we had this great fish taco lunch. And then we carried on walking, and she walked us all the way down to the beach and into the Romantica area, and told us that don't sit in these chairs because it means you're available. So that there's different colored chairs, and one set meant that you were available, which was quite an experience to witness that happening. And then we went up, walking back towards the area and we went into town on a local bus. We did not take the tourist bus in. We went in on the local bus, and I would tell you, that itself was an experience. We got on the bus, we sat down. We stopped at a stop, and this blind lady gets on, and she's got a woman who's behind her, had the hand on her shoulder, like directing her. The blind lady had her stick in front of her and was feeling her way down the bus to the seats they were going to get. And the woman behind her had this backpack on her front. I thought, that's a little strange. Well, then, as we're driving along, all of a sudden we hear this beautiful opera voice, and I'm like, where the heck? I'm like, it's coming from a speaker. And I turn around, and the woman that had the backpack on had opened the front of it, and it was a portable karaoke machine, a portable speaker and microphone. And the blind lady was the one that was singing. And we're getting serenaded on the bus as we're driving into town. If you go on a tour bus, you miss that type of experience. You just don't know when it's going to happen. On the way back, but we ended up walking back towards the bus area, and on the way back there was an apartment building that had apartments for sale, and one of the people with us is a real estate investor. So we popped in, got to use the bathrooms, and looked all around these beautiful apartments that were available for sale, and then we walked back to where we caught the bus back to the port. And as we're going back, this guy gets on with the guitar, and later on we hear him singing. So they have the buskers actually come on the buses. But one of the funniest things is that we had this, one of the guys that was with us, such a beautiful person. He has got such an amazing soul with him. And gentlest person, most respect, a complete gentleman. He really is a gentleman. And so he was standing because there were seats, because the bus was full. So he was standing, and then a seat became available. So he sits down, and there's a woman by the window, and he's on the aisle. So he sits down, and as he sits down, she crosses herself. And the other guy traveling with us, he was sitting directly in front of me, and he turns around and goes, did that just really happen? We just started laughing because we knew the type of person this guy was. He was a complete gentleman. He would never have done anything to harm the woman that was next to him, but it was just it was an amazing experience. So those are the sort of things that you can experience when you get off the main road, when you get off onto the back roads and stuff, and you do things that the locals would do, go places the locals would go instead of all the hot tourist spaces. So I am grateful to my parents for giving us the gift of travel and teaching us how to be a traveler within our own country, because there's different areas where there's certain culture changes within our own country. We're only a small country, so our the land mass in New Zealand is the same size as Colorado. So if you think of how big the state of Colorado is, yeah, that's New Zealand, but we're just a little stretched. Most people say it's like the same size as California. Lengthwise, probably, but definitely not landmass size. Yeah, definitely not landmass size. Lengthwise, I think we actually go into Oregon. I'd have to look at the scale map thingy again. But anyway, that's it from me for today. Oh, and if you have a family tree research question that you would like an answer to, send it to me in a private message or type it in the comments below, and we could end up answering your question one evening on one of our evening lives. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day, and be grateful for everything that happens to you today in all situations, and we will catch you back here around 6 p.m. this evening. Hei konera!